This is another Sentinel S4 steam regulator or steam throttle valve. This one is in a lot better condition than the other one. This one's had a lot of work done to it, a lot of new parts made, and all I've got to do is take it to bits, lap the valves in. I've got 1 or 2 copper washers to make for it. Just make sure everything is ready to go. These valves appear to be new, all the threads are good, there's nothing snapped off. I've got new studs to make. It should be quite an interesting job. This one's actually fully assembled so you can see how it works. Your throttle pedal is connected to here and that works inside of there and pushes this valve up and down, and the valve simply lets steam in or out of the engine. There's a valve in there, a poppet valve, exactly the same as used on a modern car. That's it there. This valve's been repaired. That's a new head on there, and it's been nicely silver soldered on the original shank. It's been lapped in as well, you can see the lap mark there, so somebody has made a nice job of repairing that. That's also made of stainless, that's steel, so that's be something nice and hard that's going to do the job, because it's got quite a miserable life in there, being surrounded by superheated steam. I've got all these glands to pack. I've got new studs to make for there. So I'm going to take it apart, video it being stripped, and see what we can find anything wrong with it. I hope we don't. This certainly looks a much better item than the last one. Start off, we'll take these 2 nuts off and remove the actual actuator part of it. There's another part here, it's a steam shutter valve. That goes on top of there, and you wind that down and it pushes the valve shut like a dead stop, so you can dead stop the engine. And if somebody was telling us that they had a handle on here, and when they parked the wagon up they would screw that down and take the handle off, which meant nobody could drive the wagon away. I suppose a really early form of immobiliser. All interesting stuff. All these unions appear to be new, so I'm looking forward to not spending loads of time removing snap studs. 1 or 2 bits and pieces to make and a nice clean up. I'll probably paint it and then assemble it. On this shut off valve you can see it's a 2-start thread on there, left hand thread. Screw it down. No, it's not, it's an ordinary thread, but it's 2-start, so it's fast action. Screw it down, that comes out, presses on top of the pop-off valve or the poppet valve, and that's what shuts the steam off. These 2 bolts here will hold that collar on, and there'll be packing material goes in there. I'll have to repack that as well. So that's see that it looks, it's probably been replaced, because you would think after all the years of use it would be worn where the handle's been on there, unless it just hasn't been used a great lot in its previous life. These parts look like they've been remade. Yeah, they're stainless, just for cosmetic, just to look. Stainless looks nice. It's not the be all and end all, but stainless does look nice in certain applications. Right, that's that part off. We'll have a look inside of here and see what we can find. Hopefully it'll be in good condition. I've got studs to make for there that hold that gland in place, and that's packing that goes in there. That sort of stuff. Graphite packing goes in there. It's quite a depth of packing because this is under full steam pressure to stop any steam escaping. Right, the other one was porous in there, that's where I rotted through in the bottom of those 2 holes. So I've got to make washers for them. Nice thick copper washers like that. And looking in there, it looks really good. I'll get a screwdriver and a little bit dig around. It's got like carbon stuff in there. That'll be the oil from the steam. And I'm looking in there and it really is good. There's nothing horrible in there at all. I might get this sandblasted with a very fine grader material just to clean it up, but that's absolutely solid in there. The other one was porous, so that's good news. This is the foot release valve. When you're manoeuvring the wagon, you press that, it lifts a popping valve and exhausts the steam out of there, which means that the engine will stop. We'll take these nuts and bolts off and take that off. I'm going to strip it right down to the bare casting and then go from there. There's an odd size nut on there. I'll probably replace all these nuts and bolts, but replace with Whitworth 5/16 Whitworth ring spanner. Nothing's tight because it's just been sort of loosely assembled. The other one had studs in here and they were snapped off, and I had a hell of a job drilling the bastard things out. But it was the correct washers and the correct nuts and bolts putting in. And that's a big Whitworth nut there. It's the same thread, but that's a big nut. And during the war, they stopped making Whitworth nuts full size to save on material. The full size nuts do look a lot better. You can't get them anymore, you'll have to make them. I might make nuts for these. We'll see how we get on. I really enjoy working on this sort of stuff because this regulator will still be here long after I'm gone. I hope he's still doing its job. Right, that's the foot release valve. See, the valve's in really good condition. It's been lapped in. You can see the matte finish on there where it's been lapped in, and the seat looks absolutely gorgeous. So you lift that up, the steam goes down there and out of that port. Just wants cleaning, lubricating and putting back together. I'll have to make a new joint for there. I'll make a new joint. They're called joints on steam engines. They might look like gaskets, but they're going to be called joints. That stud in there has seen better days. I might try and get that out. Replace that one stud. We'll give it a little go and see if it will come out. I'll be looking to start putting lots of heat onto this, but that stud is not good at all. See, it's the threads are damaged, it's not the best. So that's one thing we'll probably be changing. Now you can take these valves out, see what they're like. See, nothing's been tightened, it's just been loosely assembled. I'll bring the camera a little bit closer. Right, that's better, be able to see it better now. Well, that's gorgeous inside of there. And that's got like a floating seat on it, or a floating valve head. Once again, stainless steel. So that goes in there and lines itself up on the little valve seat in the bottom. It can't do anything else but line itself up. That's quality, been beautifully made. Really nice bit of gear, that. These valves are pop marked, so they go back in the same place. It's important to keep things in the same place on any mechanical device, really. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape around there just so that can't fall off. Like that. I'm going to take the handle off this one and see if they've been repacked. They probably have. I think these old-fashioned joiner screwdrivers, I buy them at car boot sales. I've got lots of them. Really good steel blade and a nice wooden handle. They're a pleasure to use. See the new spindle. That's the nut. And that's a follower, and that pushes down on there, and that's graphite packing material. So these have all been rebuilt, replaced and renewed, which is good news. Clumsy bastard, yeah. These are, they look like tough now. I've got a brass insert in there. That's like, it's not wood, it's tough null material. Or mica, it's got another name, I don't know what they call it. It's used for insulation on circuit boards, big circuit boards, fuse boxes. I've got some somewhere, because these get mad hot, really hot, and they burn your hands. This one's the same, lovely little valve. Once I get this stripped and cleaned up, I will crack test it and possibly put a pressure test on it just to make sure, but I don't think it's going to be a problem. You can see the valve seats inside of there. The seats actually screw out. I don't think I'll be taking them out, but they do screw out. And the seats in the bottom are in really good condition. Just a little discreet mark. Just these valves and fittings go back into the same places. Right, that would be a vice job to loosen that one up. That one has been tight. These studs here appear to be in good condition. They're BSF, fine thread. But they do look good. I've got a new joint to make for there. I've got some proper graphite with steel impregnated. That valve seat's beautiful in there, it's been ground in, absolutely beautiful. Right, so this one certainly appears to be a winner as far as the casting goes, and the repairs that have been carried out have been very well carried out. There's blanking plugs to go in here, and those threads are badly corroded. They look like 8th base P, and I've got a set of 8th base P taps, so we can clean these threads up. I'm going to clean all the threads up as I go around. put a tap down every hole and make sure they're all nice and clean. When I was building car engines, I used to go around the block and prep every hole, drill and tap every one, or not drill and tap, but tap every one, make sure they're all nice and clean. And it really made a big difference when you come to assemble the engine. I'll put a plug top in there as well. Yeah, nice deep thread, plenty of thread. I can see that they've got the old regulators I've got across there, they've got hex heads on. I'm not quite sure what they're for, whether they're for bleeding points or what, I don't know. I'm sure somebody will know what they're for and hopefully they'll tell us. I don't know that much about these regulators, but I know plenty about threads and valves and how to repair threads and how to look after things. And it really is interesting doing work like this. And like I say, it's pleasant because this regulator is going to be here forever really. It's nothing going to happen to it. The guy that owns it now, he's just a custodian of the wagon, and it'll be handed on to somebody else down the line. These could even be test points, pressure test points, I'm just not sure. Australians are using 8th BSP in your modern cars. They still use 8th BSP on oil pressure switches. That's a nice set of taps I got given, brand new but old stock. Presto, it'll be a fortune to buy new them. And that's those two done. Need to do them, they'll be Whitworth. As these ones to do, I need to get that out of there, it's got to come out, I'm not leaving that in there, it'll spoil the job. And they're definitely Whitworth in there. Right, once again, I've got a brand new set of 3/8 Whitworth taps. Absolutely, well, I've used one of them, but there's a full set, taper, second in the plug top. Doing this just means that when you come to put it together, you haven't got to start pissing about. You can just screw things in and you know for a fact it's all going to work nicely. I can do those two. That looks like 1/2 inch BSF. I need to get those out because they're not all the way home. So again, I've got a set of 1/2 inch BSF tops. I think it's 1/2 inch BSF. It's not. 7/16. Take this one last stud out. Just lock 2 nuts onto it. It's the best way to do it. Especially when the studs are good, as I can reuse these, there's nothing the matter with them. I'm surprised I haven't got a 7/16 BSF top. Oh, mate. Oh, straight out, lovely. I got to drill one of these out of the other regulator body. Right, I've got those 4 to clean up. The only problem I've got is that stud to get out of there. It's not blind, it actually goes all the way through. So I'm going to put a bit of heat on there, remove that stud. I'll see if I can get it blasted with some real fine blasting media. Even vapor blasted. And then I'll crack test it and put it all back together. That's like, it's like carbon in there, like oily carbon. Because the steam has oil in it when it's being used. This is possibly what stopped it from corroding. It's like greasy and oily in there. But there's no signs of any holes or porosity or nothing nasty. So I think the job's a good in here. Yeah. Excellent. Once it's blasted and cleaned up, we'll see a lot better. And there's actually threads in there. So that must have been a stud in there as well. Somebody's put nuts and bolts in. The thread's sort of half pulled out. Looks like 1/2 inch width. But putting a nut and bolt through those two isn't no problem at all, really. Except that isn't a greater room there for the bolts to go in. That's why the bolts, when I took the bolts out, they were sort of at an angle, they were a bit pissed. So perhaps they might want rethreading up to 1/2 inch width, or possibly 9/16 and then make a couple of adapter studs to go in. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do with it, but those are modern bolts. That's a UNC bolt, possibly even a metric bolt. It's just been pushed in there because those holes are stripped. So I think we'll try and repair the threads, do it properly, get that one out of there, and you can install it. I've had a measure and I think that stud is 7/16 BSF. That's a 7/16 BSF die nut. So what I need to do is get a 7/16 helicoil kit to do it properly and put helicoils in there. It's no good pissing about with loose sloppy threads on steam fittings. Yeah, that's definitely the thread, 7/16 BSF. So I'll order a helicoil kit. I can get into drill them. That one could be a little bit of a problem getting into there, but I'm sure we'll manage. Tomorrow I'll put some heat on that, get that stud out. If it snaps off, it's not the end of the world to drill it out. Not the end of the world at all. But all in all, what I'm looking at is going to be a perfectly serviceable Sentinel S4 regulator. Once again, just time to say it, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We're getting very near to 100,000 anyway. Thanks for watching.